Hello, hello. I'm really excited for this workshop. And of course, I'm trying something new. So hopefully you can see my whole screen right now. I'm going to be walking over to my whiteboard that you see above me, if you see it the same way as I do. Um, and this is going to be an active workshop where we're looking ahead and dreaming up and dumping out all of the ideas we have for this next year, getting ready for our 12-week year, which will start in a few weeks, okay? It's quite a lengthy process on purpose because first we were doing reflection. Now we're still kind of probably thinking about some of those things. And if you haven't done it yet, that's okay. Try to do some reflection on 2025 before you plan ahead. But we're all doing the best we can. And so basically today we're going to move forward. So let me share my screen with you all. And we'll look at this infographic that Notebook LM made for me. And I'm going to make a big screen so you can see it. So last week, we were talking about intentional reflection so we could do some big picture planning forward. Okay, we're talking at the year level at this point, and it's really important that we're starting with grace and not judgment on both parts of this infographic. So if you haven't done it yet, that's okay. But last week, I did some reflection on my revenue and spending, creation and growth, time, and well-being. So those 6 areas, and this should say audience growth specifically. That's what I have on my board, and I can edit this to say that more accurately. And we want to look at our data. I'm still in the midst of collecting all of my data from 2025 to share with you. So that is coming soon, but I have enough of a grasp through that overall reflection to move forward. And we want to design with intention, right? And so hopefully you had some time to kind of release, redesign, and what are we going to repeat in this new year, okay? And basically what we want to do is today dump all of our ideas, kind of start putting them into 4 12-week years. Remember, we're not going exactly on the calendar year here, and that's with intention on purpose, because who wants to start January 1? I wasn't ready. We can start whenever we want. We can be on our own calendar year. So basically, yeah, I don't know what that's about. Basically, today we're going to dump all of our ideas into these 6 areas, and then we are going to start putting them in one of the 4 quadrants to make our 12-week years, okay? This is totally flexible. This is my childhood whiteboard. My mom was a kindergarten teacher and special ed teacher for a long time. And we had this in our house, and I asked her if I could have it in my office. So I just love it. I love it because working on a whiteboard, it feels very temporary. You can change it, it's erasable. But what's funny about me is, just like when I was in the classroom, is I don't change them very often. So I'm actually gonna exit out of this bit as a big screen here. And oh, I have to stop sharing because it looks like I just shared that one. I want to show you some pictures of when I just took down the board, and I just airdropped them from my camera to here. So you can see what was just on the board before. Oh, that's a picture ChatGPT made of me. And I'm going to be using these pictures while I'm actively dumping my ideas today. So these big sticky notes over here, I had on there for a very long time. There was a point last November where I needed some income fast. My consulting gig had dried up and I needed some income to support me. And so this was a big deal of putting out there on a separate big sticky note, my income streams. And so I wrote make money here. It's super messy, but this is some of my quarter work. Then I started this process last year. And so quarter four, if I would reflect on these, pre-sell, your Get Your Shit Done planner, and Spiral Mental Health. Well, you know what? I didn't end up pre-selling them. It just didn't happen. And I'm going to give myself grace for that. But I did work on a brand makeover. I had a designer work on my logo and all of that. I did sell at the boutique, a holiday boutique. Illuminate hits 5,000 revenue. Yes, it hit 3,000 revenue. And then once I got the new spiral, also I hit 5,000. So that's really rewarding in 30 days, 30 consecutive days, because that's what we can see in Amazon Seller Central. And then I just wrote Becoming, You Are Invited. So I really wanted to do over the shoulder study with me, and that has turned into Income Without Burnout. So I didn't know it at the time that I was going to be starting a new school, but this right here is Income Without Burnout. Yay! So I've also just dumped some things up here for quarter one, relaunch book. I don't know what that's going to look like, but that's definitely going to be on this year's thing. I think it's going to be a workbook rather than a relaunch, maybe a workbook and an edit of the original book. With KDP, you can do that. We're doing the Trifold 12-week year starting in February. I can't wait. I need to get going on my weekly newsletter. That's definitely going to show up on here. Workbook is here. Website makeover absolutely has to be on there. There's something around wholesaling and speaking and selling. YouTube challenge is definitely going to show up here. And then there's a lot of other stuff. So I took pictures of that other stuff too. This was really rewarding to reflect on today. So I wrote competing for my time, and I don't even have my personal life in here. So I had all these things that were on my mind that were competing for my time, and it didn't even include my self-care and personal life. And so that was really interesting for me to do, to go from those big sticky notes to this. This is an act of self-care, seeing what's really on your shoulders. Mix of feelings, proud, defeated, energized. Everything is becoming more clear. Wow, just right. Before tomorrow, finalize 2 scripts. If you name it, you tame it. So that's some of my messy thinking that just really moves me forward. Remember the prefrontal cortex? We got to get the stuff out of here. Our working memory only has 3 or 4 spots. If we're trying to hold it all, we're living in overwhelm. And living in overwhelm doesn't help us be productive, doesn't help us feel good. It stresses us out, right? And then we perform not at a level we want to. So here's a close-up on Q4. I already kind of went through that. And here's a close-up on Q1 and Q2 that I'll be using as I brain dump. This was interesting. This was a 12-week year. So the 5,000 in revenue with Eliminate. Like I said, I got to 3,000 in 30 days and then 5,000 once I added the second product. Pre-sell and sell 2 new products, build muscle and bone density. That's the self-care that I need to do so bad right now that's got to show up on this year. And then I've been participating in an AI enhanced coaching certification the last few months. And I have been being coached myself and coaching others to practice. And this is my big next steps and accountability and all of the things, how I'm going to reward myself for moving 2 more people into my VIP. So I'm so grateful to have 3 awesome members of Income Without Burnout in VIP. I understand it's not for everyone, but it's really one-on-one coaching, and that's what I'm really trying to do and make income from, and really support people in a high-level way to help them get results faster and to give them specific help with their own needs. And so that's really rewarding, and I am excited to finish up this 12-week year and use that to help me. So basically what I'm going to do now is, let's see if I can spotlight or pin. Does that make it bigger for you guys? I think it does. I'm going to go up to the board now, and I'm going to dump in the same 6 categories: revenue, spending, creation, audience growth, time, and well-being. Dump all the things that have come out that I want to work on next year at this point in time. As you saw my last Q4, I did some of them and not all of them, and that's okay. But I got them out of here. That's what we have to do. We have to get them out of here, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and turn my video off here, and then come on over to the board. And this is the first time I'm doing it this way, so I really hope it works for you. And so I'm going to go here, and I believe it's really important that we talk about what's coming in and what's going out. Now, this is going to be ongoing. I'm just going to do my initial dump for you here. If you're watching the replay, I want you to pause the video while I talk it out, or watch a little bit of me talking it out and then do your own dump, okay, into these same 6 categories. And the reason I say money coming in and out is so crucial, because we have to know, because another way to make more money is to spend less money, right? And so it's really important that we're monitoring our spending. For example, recently I cut out Zoom because I had school calls, I had Google Meet, and it was okay, but it didn't feel quite right. And here's why. I wanted to add in Loom as an expense to do recording and get a link for people. But then I learned that I could do that within Zoom. And I just like Zoom so much better than the other tools for a variety of reasons. And so what I've done is I've added Zoom back in, but I'm using it as my Loom tool and my Zoom tool. So now I'm going to put on here, like, Zoom is a important way that I'm going to spend. Website hosting is an important thing for me to spend on. Website is also needs a complete overhaul. And so that has to go on creation. I'm also spending on school. Right now I'm on a hobby plan, $9 a month, but I want to move to the $99 Pro plan for a few reasons that I'll talk with you in other videos about. So I'm going to write that on there, because that's a big 10 times more every month, right? That's a big expense. And you're going to see me kind of jumping around here, okay, as things come to my mind. So bone density. I want to keep up yoga 5 days a week, because when I stop doing yoga, like over Christmas, my whole body falls apart. I only need 20 minutes a day, but I have to do it 5 days a week or more. I also need to put on here stress reduction. So I'm just going to write it as that for right now, but I need to have a better pulse on my stress when I'm especially coming up to big events like the Holiday Boutique and the speaking gig I just did, because I shouldn't get that stressed about those things. I do fine. And so I really need to really be monitoring, doing something around that. For time, I have to get this stuff in, and I'm not yet, the bone density. I've got to have to. The other thing is waking up 1 hour early. 1 hour early wake up. That's how I wrote my book, you guys. That book would not be in existence if I didn't decide I was going to do a 30-day writing sprint. Woke up from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m., went straight from my bed to writing. I was in flow state. As close as you can be to flow state is sleep state. And so I wrote every single day, and I counted my words. I did a word count, a spreadsheet, and I monitored it. And that's the only way I literally wrote that book. I also wrote my journal at 6 a.m. in the morning. I was teaching at the time I wrote my book, so that's why it was 5 instead of 6. So time is really important for us to monitor as well. In a recent coaching call, one of the people I was working with was having a goal around timefulness, just like frugalness. he wanted to be timeful. And I just love it. Like how present and how can you get those hard to do things done in a present flowish manner? So I'm going to write that there too. I have tons of ideas for creation. I want to make a KDP workbook. I want to make edits on my book, Burn Bright Not Out. I just launched 2 new physical products. And so I can tell already that the spiral I'll be reordering. So I'll probably want to check if there's any edits I want to make on that. Errors people found, I found, things like that. Little changes. Then what else? So audience growth is my funnel for next year is really going to be YouTube to lead magnet to school to products and premium and VIP. Okay. And I'm going to start doing a weekly newsletter again. And I will do that on Substack and System.io. Those are both free tools, so I do not have to add them here. I have school, YouTube is a free tool, lead magnets are free, obviously. So revenue generating items for 2026 are going to be my workbook. And my journals that I currently have, my book, school. I've said this, I think it's important to continue to say this. We have rental income from 2 different properties, and I'm keeping that completely outside of this. It's really important. Even if I use some money earned from those, some revenue into this Burn Bright Not Out Sybil Hall LLC business, I still am not putting them up here. So what does that mean? That means I have to have this whole thing for those businesses too, but at a much smaller scale, especially the long-term rental. But the short-term rental in the mountains, we are really highly considering selling that to pay for college tuition and living and stuff to take a lot of that financial stress off the next 3 or 4 years. Oh, excuse me. So we'll see. But just side note, I know you're probably like me that has other income streams, and this is multiple income streams, but this is all Burn Bright Not Out income streams. I just need to grab a drink of water. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at some of the stickies that were on the board and then my photos as well, so I can make sure I capture those. So personal finance coaching over in Money Made Simple. And yeah, so this is 12-week year for premium and then VIP. Premium. Okay. It's okay, it's messy. It's okay, you gotta live with it. And if you are the kind of person that needs to beautify this later, then do it on a piece of paper. But if you can let yourself be a little bit messy, you're more likely to be a little bit creative with it too. Okay, another big one on this sticky note is about Kiva. Now, I borrowed at 0% interest from Kiva. Kiva is a nonprofit here in the United States. And they're super cool. And the way it works is it's crowdsourcing for a loan at 0% interest for a business loan. And so thank you to all the amazing people who contributed to that. Basically $25 minimum. And then the cool thing is I pay that back over time, and they get their $25 back if that's what they contributed. And then they can reinvest it again. And so I got a $4,000 loan. I have about $2,000, a little less than $2,000. I'm about halfway through the loan payback and to pay off. And so I need to get a serious strategy to pay off that loan, because I'm already pre-qualified to do the whole process again. Repeat is a good thing in business, right? I learned how to do it. Now I want to repeat it. And though I'm already pre-qualified to get double the amount, so I should be able to get at least $8,000 loan at 0% interest. That's amazing. If not, $10,000. And so the sooner I do that, the sooner I get the cash. And what do I want to use that cash for? I want to use that cash to scale my manufactured products, because I now know how much it costs, kind of, for marketing. I know how much it costs to get the products manufactured and shipped, right? And if I want to scale that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on KDP the first part of the year while I'm growing these new products I just got in. Then I'm going to scale those new products, okay? And that's what I'm going to need the Kiva loan for. So I'm going to put Kiva here under revenue, because basically when you're running a business, it's a cash flow thing. You need money to spend on the ads, to spend on marketing, to buy the new tools, right? And the way you get that money is either making the money, spending less, or a 0% loan, in this case, to contribute. And that helps with your cash flow. So they're going to give me $8,000 right up front, all of it. And I only pay right now on a $4,000 loan, I pay $167 a month. So let's say I'm going to pay twice that. So I'm going to have to pay $320 a month. So I'll have $8,000 come in, and I'll be spending, has to go here too, payments. I'll be spending $320 a month. Okay. But that cash flow gets invested into the business to make more money. Okay. Because you got to put money into the business to grow the business. Okay. So I need to come up with a plan for that. And so I'm also going to put it here under creation, because it legit needs a plan. I need to figure out a date I can pay it off by. Then how long is it going to take me to get qualified and crowdsourced? And then when will I get the money? When will I need to start spending the money? Okay, let me grab my computer and see what else was in all those photos. Okay, I have my computer here. Well, I hope this is working. And cannot minimize. Okay, I won't minimize. Okay, so I'm going to go to the big Q4 and see if there's anything on there that I did not do that I still want to do. That all looks good. And then I'm going to go to my Q1, Q2 pictures that I just showed you guys earlier. Relaunch book. Big trifle 12-week year. So I need to put 12-week year here. That is to be created. I'm doing 12-week years right now, but I want to get you guys a spreadsheet that I can share ethically, right? Because I bought one on Etsy that doesn't have resale rights. I want to plan out how I'm going to introduce it, right? So I have to create around it, okay? I'm going to have my weekly newsletter here. That has to be created. I'm going to have my YouTube here. And I want to do the YouTube challenge. So I'm going to put the challenge in YouTube with Ben. That is Evelyn's editor, YouTube editor, and some of you are going to participate in that with me. Molly and I were just DMing about it, and I think February 1st is going to be our launch date for doing the YouTube challenge to keep and elevate YouTube. So it's creation and it's part of my YouTube, my audience growth plan. Over my shoulder, I really want to create like I want to work on the community and income without burnout, which I'm just going to write as school. Really get ahead of the game and master plan that a bit more. Website has to be on here. It is. And then there's this whole thing around speaking and wholesale and selling my products in bulk. I'm just going to write it as bulk products because I really don't know right now how or what I want to do. I definitely have tried things in 2025 and 2024 that I want to replicate, but I don't know which way I want to go with that. What else? Data collection. I really want to get better at, I wanted to do my money management for my business as well as I do money management for my personal life, which is why I'm offering coaching around there. And I already have a couple clients. So I need to create that. I need to create data for a few things. One is revenue, money, and spending. One is monthly tracking. I really want to develop some good monthly tracking tools. So when I get to 2027 and I do this whole process again, I'm like, woohoo, I only have to go back and look at 12 different things. Someone I admire so much who's in our community, Abby, yesterday we were on a call and she was sharing with me a spreadsheet. She has somebody help her do it. Of all her data, and it was just so cool to see month by month by month all of her data, how many people downloaded her podcast, how many people bought her membership, all the things. So that was really cool. So data, I really want data to be a big feature of this year. Okay, I think I've got everything up there. I put bone density muscle. I need to build muscle. Getting weak, people. Even with my treadmill and walking, I need to start building muscle. Okay, and that was all about that. Okay, so pretty good. I can add in, if you like colors, you can add in a different color as you go, right? So you can kind of see what you did on your first dump and then add in. Now I'm going to move over here. This is a big circle. Hopefully you can see that okay. 12-week year 1, week year 2, year 3, year 4. Okay, I'm not going on Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, but Q4 will start here and kind of be here. So it's going to be important because that is a big sales time. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to realistically take this stuff out and move it over to here. Okay, so when am I going to create my website, update my website, create my workbook? I'm going to focus here on creation and audience growth, because if nobody sees you, you can't grow and you can't sell, right? So these two are huge. These two are huge. These two are huge, but in a different way. This is the money stuff, okay? This is the money. And this is what you're actually going to make and spend your time creating. This is how you're going to get people's eyes. I am going to add meta ads here. I think that's another reason I will move to a pro account on school for the Pixel. And then I need to really be conscious of my time when I'm doing these things and putting this into here as well. Okay. So I'm going to start here in the 1. Okay, that's going to be the 12-week year. Now, I'm not making all my 3 goals for 12-week year starting in February, just dumping ideas from here to here that I then will look at to make my goals in 12 weeks. for a 12-week year. You're not behind, okay? We are intentionally dragging this process out because the more our brain can start to conceptualize and think this is possible, and our brain doesn't know the difference between our thoughts and what we actually do. And so what I put on here and write with my hand, connection to my brain, it becomes more and more explicit every single time I do it, more and more real. I'm manifesting it ultimately. Okay, so website has to be done ASAP. No, where's my eraser? I want to think about this piece of pie in chunks of time, okay? So do I want to spend a lot of time on my website or a little? Do I want to spend a lot of time on my workbook or a little? Probably more time on my workbook than my website, because I'm going to hire out some help with my website, and it's already done. It's just a revamp. Revamp. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go like this. Website. Okay. I really want to get a KDP out, so that's going to be workbook. Make that one a little bit bigger. It's not rocket science, we're just estimating, but visually we can start to see, okay, I have to spend more time on my workbook than my website. Let's take that down. Okay. Website, workbook, edits on book. That doesn't need that much time. It should have been done by now. I just read a post in Amazing Krista's group and was inspired. Spiral, reorders, edits. Kiva needs a little bit more time. I really got to figure out my strategy here, and that involves more numbers, and so that takes a little bit more time. 12-week year. Ooh, it's getting messy. And newsletter, school, bulk products. You can see what's happening. I'm trying to put it all in the first quarter. If I'm only going to have 3 goals, look at this. Okay, rewind. Spiral doesn't belong here. Silly me. Got caught up in everything going in the first quarter. You know, Kiva might not, yeah, it probably needs to be here. This is why I like whiteboards. Kiva needs to be here. Spiral, should have used some different colors. Spiral needs to be here. Because that is a revamp and I won't need to reorder for a little while after Chinese New Year. Yeah. Okay. Because here's what I'm thinking is for my next 12-week year, I want to have 1 goal for creation, 1 goal for audience growth, and maybe around here, I felt like I had a 3rd thing. See, this is why I do it on the whiteboard, living over time, growing, because I know I posted something to you, Jules, where I was like, I'm thinking of these 3 categories. I'm gonna have to go find that and add that here. Okay. Kiva, 12-week year. Okay. Newsletter. How important is the newsletter? So I thought I would have it done by now. I don't. I'm not behind. Very few people have gone through my funnel, YouTube Lead Magnet School products, and are on the list. They do get an initial email. Could I do 3 or 5 email sequence and then start the weekly newsletter? Yes, but this is like getting super full. Do I need to worry about bulk products? Probably not yet. Because I just think that's later. And this is not showing up very good. I hope you guys can see it. No, you can't. Try this one. If you don't like doing it this pie way, I don't know if it's hitting for me because I can't tell the difference between the sizes. Another way, I'm not going to redo this one all right now, but you can also just list these things in there. Maybe that's better. Whatever works for you. I'm just going to put newsletter here. And then when I go to do my 12-week year, I'll probably move it over there, and that's okay. But it feels more urgent to me than that, but we'll see when I make that decision later. School. School has to be here, and YouTube has to be here. And I have an extra one here. Haha. So I think I might like that format better. I might do that after this video, just kind of take a picture and then rearrange. Haha, putting my time and well-being last. Here I go again. So add that back in. And I'm going to write it as well-being, and then I'm going to decide on my focus in my 12-week year. Maintenance, we're always maintaining, right? But then adding in new. So, okay, I feel pretty good about that. What do you think? Would love to know if you go through this process and in the comments below, and what was helpful, what you would like to see different, what questions you have. So the first thing I did was I dumped as much as I could from my reflections and from my mind into revenue, spending, creation, audience growth, time, and well-being. Then I took that and I divided into my 12-week year, and I don't have anything down here yet, but I think I have everything to do first quarter. Typical. I'm going to let my brain, it feels safe, record it in this way. In 3 or 4 weeks, we're setting 12-week goals. I will come here and I will erase and move. Okay. It is nice if you have big paper, a whiteboard, something to do this work on. Let me show you a couple other tools that I use. I have 3 or 4 like whiteboards this size. Okay. And then I have this like drawing paper that you can put across the table and draw and write on. Okay, I have sticky notes. I have whiteboards, paper, scratch paper. Get messy, get creative. Okay, let me turn this camera back on. Okay, now you see double of me. Let me unpin. Well, that's okay. I'll just talk to this camera over here. Okay, so basically, that's driving me crazy. Basically, this is the second step after reflecting. I hope this was helpful. I hope you can watch through to see how I did it, get some ideas, but also just pause it or stop watching and do it yourself. I would love, love, love photos in the comments below. If you go through any part of this process, you don't have to do the whole thing, but I don't know how long we've been going for. It doesn't show me, but 40 minutes, 40, 45 minutes maybe. And look at all the stuff I got out. Oh, it feels so good. I feel so light. My shoulders are down because I've been wanting to do this for a long time and thinking about it. So Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I love you guys so much. Take care and let me know whatever's on your mind in the comments below. Okay, bye. Have a good weekend.